Welcome to the press conference for CSULB's An Evening with Common, presented by Beach Pride Events. I'm Christian Galeno, and here with us we have College BTV, the Daily 49er, K-Beach Radio, Union Weekly, and ASI Video Productions. And here with us today we also have the special guest, Common. Just on behalf of all the student media here at Cal State Long Beach and all the students, faculty, and staff, ASI Beach Pride Events, we really want to thank you for coming out to Cal State Long Beach. An Evening with Common was such a great event. What was your takeaway from this event, or what do you hope our students take home tonight from your event?
Well, first of all, thank you, and thank you all for having me. And I think I gotta say, Cal State, like Long Beach, is really a warm and inviting crowd, and just open and great energy. And I hope that that each individual will take away a spark to just send them or keep them on the path that they always dreamed of, and I hope were inspired to go higher and keep going towards those dreams.
Definitely. I mean, you're an Academy Award winner, a Grammy Award winner. So this is a question from Isaura of College BTV, and she wants to, you're very active in the music and film industry. What originally inspired you to get involved in both, and what are some noticeable differences you've noticed between both of them?
Well, as a kid, I was just mesmerized by Michael Jackson and Earth, Wind, Fire, and just this Minnie Riperton and the Commodores, all this music, New Edition, and then hip hop.
Yeah.
And it made me really want to be something. I wanted to be something that, I didn't know if I would have a talent in music, but I just wanted to be something. And along with that, acting was always something. I always liked plays and even The Wiz, which had Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, and Richard Pryor, all those great, and Nipsey Russell, and so I was inspired by things that I admired a lot, and it didn't become tangible until I really, just did it. Just said, all right, I'm going to try it, and within doing it, I felt that I had inside me, this was something that I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. Because I tried other things and it didn't. I wasn't as great at playing the piano.
Yeah.
At least when I started acting, I was like, okay, I had the potential to be great at this if I work at it.
Definitely.
So that's where.
So, I mean, you're a rapper, actor, poet also. Do you have different inspirations for each kind of art? Let's say, is it a person? What is it that inspires you when you create something?
Well, I'm inspired by God first. I feel like creativity is a divine expression, and it truly is something that you just, at its best, you allow it to just come through you, and it's supposed to be, it's you being the vessel, mm-hmm. And it's all the things that you've done, to prepare for it. That's what makes your vessel be the one that it needs to come through, at that moment. Meaning, if you're a singer, you have to work at that craft, and then when that message is coming through, you could deliver that song at the level so the masses and people will be affected by it. If you're an actor, it's the same thing. You have to work at that craft. That's what I'm inspired most by. Of course, I'm inspired by other artists of that nature, whether it's other actors, some of my favorites are Leonardo DiCaprio and Denzel Washington, and I like Michael Shannon, and I love the great late Philip Seymour Hoffman and the great Marlon Brando. So I love of course I'm inspired by musicians, but I'm also inspired by other types of art, like painters. I had an artist named Lorna Simpson who did the cover of my last album. I was inspired by her art, so I'm inspired by James Baldwin,
Yeah, so since you did mention James Baldwin, you are actually currently part of a movement with a couple of other notable artists, musicians. Can you tell us a little bit about the Know Your Baldwin movement that you guys have going on. Why is it important that we know James Baldwin's
Yeah,
work?
well, I mean, his words still resonate with us now, and it's nobody even in our time period that phrases it like he does, and like where you're reading so much truth, but it's like a beautiful way to put it. So it's that makes it even hit you deeper because it's like it has the things that you love in writing and when you're reading, but it has a truth in it, so it hits you on so many levels. Um, the fact that his words still like are not just relevant, but they need to be heard right now. Like it's people saying different things, but I mean the things that he said just they affect us right now, and they can affect us, and it can affect the change too.
Yeah. So, Jason from the Daily 49er asks, how have the heightened issues in race relations since the election affected you? And what advice would you give to students who may be experiencing prejudice?
Well, I think the issues have affected me more from the sense of what can I do to make sure that I'm reminding people that we continue to love each other. What can I do? Like, I mean, first of all, a lot of people are aware and are doing that. That's why you have people out there marching. That's why you had the women out there marching, and having the day where women basically, it was
a day
Women's
without a
Day.
woman, yeah.
So people are aware that we, are standing up for each other in that way. But I think for me, it's about just also being a part of that understanding and communicating with people who may feel like, oh man, the world is ending, and dang man, it's like, it's gonna be some challenges. It'll be some
Definitely.
challenges, but the power is in us,
Hmm.
and and the Creator is greater than than the government.
Yeah.
So, like focus on the positive things. And when I experience that prejudice, I'm not perfect, but I do my best to do what our former First Lady said: when they go low, we go high. So I'm not like even focused on like when people come to me and TM, these TMZ and the stuff, and they'll be like, "What do you think what Trump said?" I'm like, man, I'm not even that focused on that. Like I'm focused on what I can do to help people and what we can do. What's my responsibility? Like so that's where I stand with it.
Now, do you believe that music and art should be used as forms of expressing political ideas and opinions?
I think yes, music can definitely be used to express, ideas, political opinions,
Do you think there's like
social
a certain
awareness.
extent though, or?
Um, the extent is as long as you make it dope. If you make it good, then you could be saying everything you need to say. I mean, one of my favorite artists was KRS-One, and he broke down the books of the Bible and made it sound good. Where the fact that I know the lineage of Abraham. Abraham was the father of Isaac. Isaac was the father of Jacob, for real. And these were the sons of Israel. Like he broke it down and would talk about. He did songs about eating beef, and at the time I'm eating everything, and I'm like, I really wouldn't want to listen to a song about that, but he made it sound good. So my point is, you got to be dope in what you're doing. You got to make it fresh. No matter how much political message, is still art. Because if you're just delivering a political message and art that's not good, it's better for you to go out there and just be a politician or do something else, because people still want to appreciate the art, and that's the best way for them to receive it is when it is good. Like that's why everybody responded to Get Out, because
Yeah.
it's a good movie and it's entertaining and it's fun, but it has its social messages. And nobody wants to be preached to unless you go to church on Sunday and hopefully the pastor is speaking to you in the right way.
Yeah,
You know what
definitely.
I mean?
So, in your opinion, what is the right way to speak to people then right now, and especially this generation? In order for them to get involved in social movements, what do you think, in your opinion, is the right way to get them involved or to
Well,
preach to them?
first of all, speaking to individuals, speaking to each other with compassion, right? And understanding and knowing that, like, somebody brought something up to me that I was like, man, I was like, man, I got to look at it from a more understanding way. They was like, man, some of the people that voted for Trump was just like, man, they felt like they just didn't have no jobs either. And they felt like, I'm like, damn, I ain't never think about it like that. You know, so it's just coming to an understanding is one of the most important things that I feel like we can do, and communicating with each other with respect and love and listening. Like, you know, it's easy to have an idea of what I think this person is, but if I don't give him a chance or give her a chance, then I'm not doing the right thing, doing the way things should be done. And that's how we communicate, because we can find the humanity in most any individual. Like I said, I walked into some prisons and it was, you know, dudes that had taken other people's lives, but man, they were human beings, man. Some of them regretted a lot what they did and wanted to grow from that. So you can find the humanity in so much, and that's what I think we got to find, that humanity in each other.
Definitely. So you did do some work with 13th. We're gonna switch gears a little bit. Recent awards for the film. In relation to the phrase "knowledge is power," now that more people are aware of this issue, what do you feel should come next, or what should they do next? And this question is from Inovi from K Beach.
Yeah, well, I think people, Anobi, I think people have to identify things that if something like mass incarceration is something that they feel passionately they want to change, and they have to identify how they can change it. Like, and some of those ways is finding out, like, what are some of the laws and things that are keeping people down and keeping, like, a consistent young black and brown people going to jail. We got to find out what are those things, right? And then start working towards opposing those things, whether it's laws, whether it's issues of providing opportunities. So it's identifying something like in the 13th where you say, man, I'm adamant about changing mass incarceration, but if that's not your thing, you may just like find something else. It may be about tutoring kids or giving kids musical instruments in a school, or helping, you know, somebody, you know, gay rights or whatever it is. If you can help each other. Yeah. And I think, you know, that's where we can, you know, for me the 13th was an eye opener, and I thought I knew some stuff about that, but I learned a whole lot, and it made me want to do more.
Okay. This next question is from Ray Robinson of Union Weekly, and you were featured in Bars for Justice, which took place after Michael Brown's shooting. What were those experiences like in Ferguson, and do you feel police brutality will end?
First of all, I'm a hopeful person, so I do believe that at some point police brutality will end. I mean, I can't say it will be completely ended, because, you know, we are imperfect human beings. So, you know, like to say it's going to, like, that mean that everybody is 100% going to do right. You know, that's not like,
definitely.
But I do believe it can improve, and we want to improve it, and hopefully we will improve it with, you know, immediately, because it's lives being lost. So, yeah, I do believe it will improve. And what was the initial question?
What was the experience like, or were the experiences like in Ferguson?
Yeah, in Ferguson, it's really powerful, man. It just kind of moved me in a way where I went there and tried to go when there was no cameras, so I could just take in what was going on and listen to the people from that community. And I met some brothers and sisters that was doing work in the community, and I met with Leslie, who was Michael's mom, and man, it moved me to be like, man, I got to do something. What can I do for this community? What can this community do for itself where I can assist in it? And that's how my experience.
What was the thing that, like, just touched you the most, or, you know, you?
Well, going to the place where Michael Brown was killed, and then it was, ironically enough, I had somebody that worked with the city, and a dude that was he worked with the law enforcement. So when we drove up, some dudes came from the projects with that from the apartment buildings that Michael Brown was going to visit his grandmother. They was like, kind of like saying, man, I was with some black police officers, and they was like, nah, you know, man, like it was kind of, you know, it was pain there.
Yeah.
So that kind of moved me, because eventually we started talking, and he saw that those police officers weren't against him, but it just was the initial, like, man, the hurt that had come from seeing one of their own just shot down by the police force, that they automatically had to look at any police officer and say, man, you about to shoot me or what? And that was that. And obviously seeing Michael's mother, Leslie, that was a lot of you know, pain, and I have a lot of empathy for her. Yeah. So that moved me.
Cool. All right. And then just to kind of bring the interview to almost an end, what are any final words of wisdom for our students?
I would just say to the students, man, you have so much capacity to do incredible things in your field and beyond. Man, keep your discipline at hand. Use it. Use your discipline. Use your focus. And when things get foggy, and like, you know, just know that there's something on the other side of that fog. The fog will clear up. And you know, don't forget. I mean, keep God first, and all the rest will work out.
All right. And this final question, can I borrow $1? All right, man. Thank you so much for coming out here to Cal Columbus. We really appreciate it.
Great
and
to see you, Christian.
Great having you here.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it very much.